What's going on, everyone? John Matrix here. Hope you're all having yourselves a wonderful day wherever you're at. Whenever you're watching this, we're going to be jumping into some more SCP here with the Vulcan. We're going to check out SCP-5339, and he rose again with a third leg. Euclid alive humanoid SCP. Links will be down below in the description, as always, to the original video and to the Vulcan's channel. So please do me a favor, if you enjoy this video as we go through it, be sure to go over to his channel, hit that like button on the video, and be sure to hit that sub button on his channel if you haven't already. He makes a lot of great content for the SCP universe. So yeah, check out all his stuff. If you want to take your support to his channel to the next level, check out his Patreon, check out any kind of memberships he offers on his channel, all that kind of stuff. If you'd like to join us when I do these reactions live, there's a join button underneath the video, as well as a link in the description to the YouTube membership benefits and tiers that I offer. So we'd love to have you guys come in and hang out and join our discussions. There's a join button underneath the video, as well as a link in the description to all that stuff that I have to offer. So if you want to take your sport to the next level, check all that out and see if it would have any interest for you. Regardless, thank you guys very much for just coming in, hanging out, and watching the video. I greatly appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy. With all that said, we're going to jump into this. Again, SCP-5339, and he rose again with a third leg. Euclid alive humanoid SCP by the Vulcan.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Dr. Miller.
My name is Dr. Miller, and the SCP we're going to be looking at today is SCP-5339.
Already creepy looking
Object
here
class
from the image.
Euclid. Special containment procedures. SCP-5339 is contained within a vertically extended humanoid containment cell decorated with the personal possessions of Mickey Ademi. All meals given to SCP-5339 must consist of soft semi-solids such as applesauce, watermelon slices, or jam. SCP-5339 is to be given weekly English and ASL lessons on a rotational shift basis by selected researchers.
What? This is a weird start. So we have an SCP, seemingly it was someone or is someone, whether they were born this way or some anomaly happened to them that made them this way. But they can only eat semi-soft solids such as applesauce, watermelon slices, or jam, and they're given English lessons. That's the first. That's a first. I have not heard of something like this before, where they're, teaching an SCP.
Description: SCP-5339 is a 3-meter tall tripodal organism whose cranium features a pair of 6-centimeter wide eyes and a mouth used for mastication and crude vocalization. SCP-5339 has 3 legs which are spaced equidistantly from one another. Despite this, SCP-5339 has difficulty remaining stable for more than 15 seconds.
Interesting.
Discovery: on 3/12/2013, Hannah Ademi gave birth to a child, Mickey Ademi, who had developed an accessory arm underneath his left pectoral during the late stages of Mrs. Ademi's pregnancy. Mickey Ademi was born in the St. Raymond Nonnatus Hospital with expected complications, although Mickey and Hannah Ademi both recovered within a reasonable time period. 1 year after Mickey Ademi's birth, he disappeared due to unknown circumstances while on vacation with Mrs. Ademi. Upon returning to her place of residence, Mrs. Ademi located SCP-5339 in Mickey Ademi's room.
Interesting. So she gave birth to a baby that had birth defect complications, that had some kind of extra limb coming out of his chest. She went on vacation and he mysteriously disappeared while she was on vacation. And she came back to this SCP in his room. Interesting.
Test log 5339-1. 3.
Yeah, I wonder, is this a situation where, this creature... where's the father? That's my question. Did this creature impregnate her and thus the baby was some kind of hybrid, and now that she supposedly, the kids disappeared, this creature's upset, I don't know.
2014. In order to determine how SCP-5339 relates to Mickey Ademi, a variety of tests were conducted. Object 1, 1 cubic meter of grass. Object 2, 1 cubic meter of assorted bovine flesh. Result: SCP-5339 appears uninterested in the grass and sniffs the flesh, before emitting a loud vocalization and retreating to the corner of its containment unit. Object 1, Mickey Ademi's blanket, nearly severed for unknown reasons. Object 2, an undamaged blanket. Result: SCP-5339 moves toward the nearly torn blanket and successfully tears it down the center with one of its legs and its jaw. SCP-5339 places one half of the blanket over its head and the other half underneath itself. Object 1, a framed photograph of Hannah Ademi. Object 2, a tattered photograph of Will Ademi, Mrs. Ademi's husband who expired 1 year previously.
Okay, so she was married, seemingly. I don't know. Okay.
Result: SCP-5339 approaches Will Ademi's photograph with apparent interest. SCP-5339 grunts and moves to Mrs. Ademi's photo. At the end of the test, SCP-5339 resisted the research staff who had attempted to remove Mrs. Ademi's photo and slid the photo around the cell until a researcher grabbed SCP-5339's leg to allow another researcher to retrieve the photo.
So obviously this creature has some kind of connection with, the mother. I mean, it could just be the kid, right? Maybe that's why she supposedly got, lost him. Maybe he was mutating into this further and freaked her out. And then she, happened to misplace the child. And then when she came home, it happened to beat her. I don't know.
Object 1, a photograph of Mickey Ademi. Object 2, a photograph of SCP-5339. Results: SCP-5339 pauses momentarily and then moves towards the image of Mickey Ademi. SCP-5339 lowers its head and pushes the image of Mickey Ademi with its snout. Addendum 5339-2 3/12/2014. Dr. Green was instructed to retrieve certain objects from SCP-5339's containment cell once testing had concluded. While Dr. Green had attempted to retrieve the cubic meter of assorted bovine flesh, SCP-5339 moved behind them and produced a vocalization similar to that of a child in distress. Dr. Green questioned SCP-5339, who paused and then addressed Dr. Green as Ma. It is unknown whether or not SCP-5339 has awareness of what its vocalizations allude to.
So, the bovine flesh, is it a situation where it doesn't like meat? Or is just the way it was presented to scare it? Or I'm just trying to think of because obviously it's causing this creature some kind of distress. So does it happen to be vegan? You know what I'm saying? Is it nah, dog, I'm vegan, I ain't eating this? Or, or I don't know. I'm trying to think of why else it would freak out about this. And then obviously it's trying to communicate with the doctor in some way.
Further research is to commence. Test log 5339-1 3/15/2014 to 7/18/2016. SCP-5339's potential for sapient thought can currently be approximated to that of a 1-year-old child. To improve SCP-5339's vocabulary and speech, weekly English lessons are to be implemented into SCP-5339's containment procedures. Lesson plans have been designed with the assistance of ASL and other non-verbal speech therapy methods. Please note that the following table only consists of notable lessons where SCP-5339 showed noticeable improvement.
Interesting.
Lesson: the research staff joined SCP-5339 for a short period of time in its containment cell while being monitored by several Foundation security guards. Staff were instructed to assume a semi-formal disposition and verbally communicate frequently with one another. Result: SCP-5339 began emitting several vocalizations that research staff believe sounded significantly like mom, drink, toy, and food.
So, I mean, yeah, this seems like this anomaly is the kid. Or is a child of some sort. I don't know. This one's strange, right? So, I mean, the woman, it was, the woman's pregnant. It's known that the child's going to have birth defects. She gives birth. There's actually no complications during the birth, I think, from what he said. But the child has essentially a third appendage coming out of its chest. It's like another arm. She goes on vacation. The child goes missing, quote unquote. She comes back home, and now this creature's there. So again, is it like a situation where the child kept mutating into this? I feel like that's the case, right? But then how did the child get back home? If it's an equivalent in intelligence to a 1-year-old, human, and from what they said in the description, it has a hard time, moving around and balancing itself. Again, probably because it's still young and it's still, trying to develop its body, or just the mutation itself makes it difficult to do, right? Like, how did it get back home? That's, I guess, one of the big questions. And so it's like, is this really her child, or did she did the child actually get kidnapped by something and then returned in this anomalous state? Or did she actually ditch the child, thinking that she did, and then some kind of anomalous creature found it, brought it back to her, or, I don't know. I guess that's kind of the big question that I have at the moment, is if this is her child, how did it get back home? And is this just part of its growth? Like it was anomalous already? Or was it found by something anomalous and then returned and thus also mutated because of that? I don't know.
Lesson: research staff allowed SCP-5339 to play with a beach ball for 5 minutes before retrieving the ball and waiting to see if it requested for the ball to be given back. Result: SCP-5339 played with the ball for the entire allotted period of time. When the ball was retrieved, it showed signs of distress and attempted to kick it out of Dr. Green's hands. Eventually, SCP-5339 said, "Give ball," where they then were allowed the ball for the remainder of the day. Lesson: research staff requested a brief recreational meeting with SCP-5339 in its containment cell. SCP-5339 was given a cup of applesauce, while the rest of the staff were given coffee. Result: SCP-5339 learned the words sauce, cup, person, and friend. Lesson: research staff placed several objects inside of SCP-5339's containment cell that it has not learned the name of. Research staff hope that it may attempt to expand its own vocabulary by creating compound words. Result: SCP-5339 vocalized the phrases long animal to indicate a stuffed snake, talk metal to indicate a speaker, and bad water to indicate an image of an ocean.
Bad water for ocean.
Addendum 5339 2 7/22/2016. During a private meeting with Dr. Green, SCP-5339 vocalized their first complete sentence. After several indistinguishable grunts, SCP-5339 said, "Mommy, the water's too deep." Dr. Green promptly exited the containment cell, and SCP-5339 was provided with their beach ball and an additional serving of semi-solids.
Yep.
This concludes today's lecture. Thank you for listening, if indeed you still are, and you are all dismissed. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Dr. Miller. I mean, yeah. Okay. That paints a picture, right? This article was written by Supposedly Spooky. Links are down below in the description of the original video. So, I mean, yeah. It's the story seems like, I guess the husband died a year previously. She was pregnant or got pregnant, and it was known that the child was going to have, complications. Child was born, had a third appendage coming out of its chest. She took a vacation. Seemingly from the story here, as soon as it referred to the ocean as bad water, I was like, yep, I know what happened. And then that, follow up of the water's too deep, mommy. Paints a picture that she tried to drown the child because she didn't want it. And supposedly it disappeared, while she was on vacation. It's always one of those things where it's like, okay, yeah, the child disappeared. Did you report anything? Are the police looking at anything? Doesn't sound like it. So the interesting thing, though, then is, again, the question of how did the child get back to her home? And was the child anomalous to begin with, or was the act of her drowning the child created it anomalous? Did some other kind of thing create the child afterwards? Like, I guess that's the big open-ended question here is this still the same child, or did something recreate a facsimile of this child and something else? But clearly, this creature is just a kid, essentially, in this strange, malformed body. And yeah, so interesting article. But yeah, that was SCP-5339. He rose again to the third leg, Euclid, alive humanoid SCP. I mean, like I said, that's I guess really what the big question is. How did the child get back there? Is it still the same child? Was the child anomalous by birth? Did something else like save the child, send it back there, or who knows? But yeah, mom isn't getting away with well, I guess technically she did. She ended up getting rid of the child by having the SCP contain it for her, I wonder if the Foundation's going to follow up with her with any of that, but anyway, so yeah, again, SCP-5339, he rose again with the third leg by the Vulcan. Links down below in the description, as always, to the original video without my commentary and reaction, and to the Vulcan channel. Interesting solo contained, story, and the overall story is somewhat self-explanatory, with, again, like I said, the big question of how did the child get back home, and is it the same child, etc. So but yeah, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to go over to the Vulcan's channel, give his original video a like, hit that sub button on his channel if you would like to give him some support. If you're not already subscribed to him, makes a lot of great SCP content. Check out his Patreon, check out any kind of membership benefits he's got if you want to take your support for his channel to the next level. If you'd like to join me and my YouTube members when I do these reactions live, if you want to join our discussions that we have before, during, and after, there is a join button underneath the video, as well as the link in the description to the YouTube membership benefits and tiers that I offer. We'd love to have you guys come in and hang out with us. So yeah, check all that stuff out if it would have any interest for you, if you want to take your support to the channel to the next level. Regardless, thank you guys very much for coming and hanging out, watching the video. If you are still watching here through to the very end, I greatly appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, consider leaving a like and a sub, as it helps me and the channel grow. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. Hope you're all having yourselves a wonderful day.